like to invite our next speaker, Rudin Selen Sinulinska from Indonesia. So, sir, the floor is yours. Rudin Selen Sinulinska from Indonesia.
There,
So,
there,
yeah.
there is echo,
Okay.
Winnie.
Good evening, all. Namaste. Am I audible?
There is echo.
Am I audible? Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, you are
Yes.
most welcome.
Yes.
Okay, am I audible, right?
Yes. Yeah. Right now we.
Okay. Once again, good evening. Namaste from Indonesia.
Yeah. Right now we.
Namaste. On this occasion, I'm going to a little bit about the importance of critical thinking for young generation. Like we say, or like we see, we critical thinking skills every day, because critical thinking help us to make good decisions, understand the consequences of our actions, and solve the problems. And after that, these incredible important skills are used in everything from putting together puzzles to mapping out the best route to work. It's the process of using focus and self-control to solve problems and set the follow through on goals. So it utilizes other important life skills like making connections and perspective taking and communications. Basically, critical thinking help us to make good and sound decision. And after that critical thinking, I have read a book, Mind in the Making by author Alan Galinsky, The 7 Essential Life Skills Every Child Needs. From that book, the importance of teaching children critical thinking skills and a child's natural curiosity helps lay the foundation for critical thinking. And critical thinking requires us to take the information, analyze and make judgments about it, and that type of active engagement requires imaginations and that inquisitiveness. As children taking new information, they fill up a library of source within their brain, and they have to think about how to the new information fits in what they have already know, or if it is changed and the information we already hold to be true. And supporting and the development of critical thinking as a research or taken from the research Michigan State University extensions has some tips on helping young child learn and practice critical thinking. As we know that critical thinking is very useful for us, especially in the 21st century, like collaborations, communications, and etc. But I am going to focus talking about the critical thinking mastery for young generation. And the first one, encourage pursuits of curiosity. The red white pace, help them form and then test theories, experiment, and try to understand how the world works. Encourage children to explore, ask questions, test their theories, think critically about the result, and think about change that they couldn't make, a change they could not do difference. As we know, for example, if the students go to the school and then join the learning process, sometimes they are going to learn about one case. So a teacher asks the students to think critically. Why it is very important? Because in this digital era, especially in handling the spreading of hoax, all the teachers must be able to filter all the informations as presented on the social media. So our literary mastery must be able to be improved by us because it is very beneficial for us, especially for young generation. And the second one is learn from others. As we know that help children think more deeply about things by instilling a love for learning and the desire to understand how things work, and then seek out the answer to love your children. Learn from others. It means we can learn from others' experience. I can learn from Madame Reno Vehistra experience, right? So these experiences can be combined, can be used by us as the things to improve up to upgrade our life skills. By having more experience, we are able to develop our skills, our lives, and many more. Because we cannot able to separate each other. We must be able to support each other by giving the idea, by supporting each other, by giving motivation, and many more. So we are social human. It means we are not able to separate each other. And the next one is help children evaluate information. Why? Because this is very important. We are often gives a lot of information at a time, and it is important. We are going to evaluate that information to determine if it is true or not. For example, there is an information on the social media, and then we are not going to accept it directly, but we have to confirm. We are able to get the literary mastery. Is it true or not? Is it hoax or not? Especially by accepting all the hoax, it means it will create many problems in human lives. English mastery for literary mastery, it means there is there will be problem among us. Why? Because we are not able to filter all the informations as presented in this on the social media. And after that, it also helps children learn the skills by teaching them to evaluate new information, and then have them think about where or who the information is coming from. So it must be confirmed first before we accept it, and then how it relates to that the we already knew, and why these are not important. For example, like this one, if this information is not important for us, I think we can reject it. So for me especially, if the information is not positive, I'm going to reject it, not automatically take it and then receive it. So the problem is when the young generations are not able to filter, to differ which one is true, which one is false. So by take it automatically without doing the filtrations, this is the great problem will be created in our life. So for young generation, it means I want to stress that all the young generation must be critical, must be able to have critical thinking. Maybe we are going to criticize the government, to criticize our friends, and many more. We can do it automatically. And the next one is promote children's interest. Why is this important? Because when children are deeply versed in a topic or pursuit, they are more engaged and willing to experiment. So our life is an experiment. So the process of expanding their knowledge brings about a lot of opportunities for critical thinking. So after that, to encourage these actions, a lot of opportunities for critical thinking, so it can help the children or the young generation invest their interest. Why? Because whether it is learning about trucks and vehicles or keen interest in insects, so the children must be able to differ, try to get which one is the positive impact and which one is the negative impact. And the next one is teach problem solving skills, because problem solving is very important for us. We are going to solve every problem that comes to our life, because as a young generation, when dealing with problem or conflict, it means it is necessary to use critical thinking skills to understand the problem and come up with possible solution. For example, there is a problem, we must be able to get the win-win solution, not only for one side but all of sides. So there will be win-win solution. Young generations must be able to teach every problem, to learn every problem, the steps of problem solving, and they will use critical thinking in the process of finding solutions to problem. Sometimes we are going to criticize many people, right? We can be able to criticize but never able to give the solutions. The most important is not only criticize our friends, but we are able to give the solution. We are going to solve which one is the good solutions, how to solve the problem. There will be positive impact after giving the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, and I think critical thinking is the base form that should we have everybody. Because by having critical thinking, we can criticize our life. We can criticize the others. Not only criticize the other, because we are social human. It means we have the positive, we have the negative side, because we are not perfect at all. So by having skills, it means all the young generations are able to manage, to form themselves to be better in the future. Hopefully, all the young generations will be the leader in the future by having good attitude or good characters to become a professional leader in the small community, in their family, in the country, and many more. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. Yes, we can remember our message from our honorable guest. But thank you for Mr. Rudy, your powerful message for critical thinking. Yes, we can. We will keep that in mind for our young generation.